First of all, when Evelyn was diagnosed with cancer, how did you react? I mean,
Well, from day one, um, the consultant asked for her mother to come in with her, and she was 25, so I knew it wasn't going to be good news. But at the same time, we weren't prepared for cancer. Um,
I think it's just a sister.
yeah, I was just numb. It's just the last thing you expect to hear, and especially when she was so young. And it was at stage 3B, I think.
3B, yeah.
3B at that stage. That was June. Um, they started treatment the following week, chemotherapy and radiotherapy. It didn't work. Unfortunately, the form she had was very aggressive, and it just didn't work.
I mean, yeah. When you say aggressive, it really seemed to take hold overnight.
Yeah.
From week to week,
Got worse
you could
and
see
worse, yeah.
the change in her. Especially people who hadn't seen her in a few weeks. Us seeing her every day, we didn't notice it so much, but you could see from other people's expressions, she was getting,
Mm.
she was losing weight rapidly.
Couldn't get up the stairs, couldn't dress herself, couldn't go outside the door because she was in too much pain. She needed her painkillers.
And Pamela, when you see your sister experiencing that kind of pain, how do you feel? I mean,
Oh, it's heartbreaking, yeah. But at the time, I suppose you just have to keep going because, if you break down as well, then no one to look after her. But, yeah, heartbreak.
the fact that the government have just basically withdrawn this money from the... I mean, if you had a message, unfortunately, Evelyn isn't going to come back.
No.
But if you had a message for the government, what would it be?
I would say bring back the vaccine, bring out the vaccine, because there are more than Evelyn. I know for a fact, I don't have names and numbers, but I know there are more that have died of the disease at her age. So the screening isn't going to, help those other girls. I don't want another mother to have to go through what I went through. Like, I held her in my arms and told her it was okay to stop breathing. No other family should have to. If 9 million could save one life, if someone told me in the morning 9 million would bring Evelyn back, I would go out and beg, borrow and steal the money just for one life. And as far as I can see, the screening alone is not going to help a lot
And
of
the
young
screening
girls.
is from 26 up. Evelyn was diagnosed at 24, was it 24? Or 25? 25, and she'd had cancer for a few years, which had meant from maybe 22, 23 she had cancer.
What do you think of the overall situation, Pamela, that they've withdrawn the funding?
I think it's ridiculous. Death sentence for the young girls in Ireland. Surely they can take cuts in other areas and not in our health system. There's surely a way, even if people with medical cards can get it, because the poor people that are going to suffer, they're not going to be able to afford to get the vaccine. And they're probably going to say, sure, it won't happen to us. That's what we'd said, but it does.
Do you feel, Ger, as a mum, you paid your taxes all over your life, and Evelyn was basically, I suppose, in one sense, starting out in life.
Mm-hmm.
Girls similar to Evelyn and mothers, are they getting a raw deal?
I think so. Like, Evelyn had her whole life in front of her. She'd gone through college, she travelled a bit. She had a steady boyfriend. He had actually told me he was on the verge of proposing to her. But he couldn't do it because he knew she wouldn't say it, because she would feel he was doing it out of pity. She had her whole life ahead of her. From day one, from the day she was diagnosed, she wasn't going to have children. They were talking about a hysterectomy in a matter of weeks. So that part of her life, she would probably have to go through early menopause in her 20s. But she was an incredible person. I never saw a person with so much strength. She actually taught us how, to keep control of ourselves I can remember her saying to me, Mom, I'm not taking you into the consultants anymore because I can hear what the doctor is saying if you're going to be crying next to me. And she was incredible. Even in Marymount, when she was dying, she kept thanking everybody and apologising for, being so much trouble. And, for the sake of 9, 10 million, to see if some of our politicians could go in and sit in a hospice for a few days and see what the patients and families have to go through and the care the staff are giving them, and there's just nothing they can do for them at that stage. They gave her pain relief. That's all they could do. By the time she died, she had so much.
You were saying, Jared, that you actually held Evelyn just before she died.
I did. I got into the bed with her and I just held her in my arms and said, it's okay to go. We're all here and we love you. Because I just didn't want to hold on to her anymore. I couldn't watch her suffer. She wasn't going to get better, and she had been unconscious for 2 days, I think, at that stage, was it? And we sat there 24/7 and had to listen to her breathing getting shallower and shallower, and it's just heartbreaking to have to watch it. And
especially when there's a cure out there to stop other people going through that, there's surely a way of, making things work that medical card holders should be entitled to it, or people that can't afford it.
I know it's hurting you, and deep down inside, Pamela, how do you feel yourself? I mean...
Oh, numb. Still numb. Like, still haven't dealt with the whole thing, but now that there's a cure and they're not, doing anything about it, is making it